Now, 60 seconds, one story, but a bit of a wrap up. So I want to sort of do a bit of a wrap up and a bit of an opinion piece on where things are at geopolitically as Trump enters the fray. Okay. Judging by what's been happening with respect to Greenland, with respect to the UK, with respect also to AfD in Germany, Fico in Slovakia, Orban in Hungary. There's a huge fracture going on throughout Europe, and I'm here for it, by the way. Now, first, let's talk about Fico. He recently had a big go at Zelensky. Here's a bit of a photo of what he said. Effectively, he's sick of him begging or going around the place begging for money. This has to stop. Fico is one of those guys who took 5 shots and is still smiling. He literally had an assassination attempt, survived it. He's actually a military guy, and he's had enough of it. Together with Orban, he's had enough of it too. So that's at least 2 countries in the EU, plus Romania, who is actually going through really a lame attempt at getting involved in the elections. And it looks like it's the EU doing it. It doesn't look like it's the US, which is probably why they're not doing a very good job of it. So there's at least those 3 or 4 countries. Greece itself is going to most likely be against once the US step back. So the EU's in big trouble, as well as Alice from the AfD. The AfD, you will hear, are some kind of neo-Nazi party. That is patently ridiculous. In fact, they reject everything to do. And actually, recently, their leader equated Hitler and the Nazis with the left more so than the right. And she made a very powerful case. Censorship, telling you what to do, mass hysteria, whipping people up in groups to just shut things down. So, you know, it's sort of a funny one when you hear people throwing these labels around and whether it's true. But the very interesting thing about the AfD is that their leader is much more competent than all the rest of the leaders in Europe that we have. Also, their party platform, they voted on whether to condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and 60% said no. So that's a really big thing, because if they present that to the people of Germany, I would believe that the people of Germany would vote with them anyway, as well as the other issues that they've got economic. And also, she said that she wants Nord Stream switched back on. So that puts them at odds with the Trump administration, which are very happy that that's currently down. So what is happening is obviously a changing of the guard and an abandonment of Ukraine, Project Ukraine, which means it's the next stage of the US plan, and this is looks like it's going to be sphere of influences, which was very much like late 1800s up until World War One. Lucky for us, there's no bilateral defense pacts between, I don't know, North Korea and Russia, Russia and Iran, China and Russia. So, you know, we seem to be repeating the same pattern. And if I was to guess where we're at, probably Berlin conference time in 18 whatever that was, 1890 something, I forget now. We're around that era. And if it plays out the way it looks like it'll play out, you'll have Germany asserting sovereignty and really pressuring the EU structures. You've got the EU now currently threatening Germany, which is hilarious, because then how can you threaten Germany when without Germany you don't have an EU? But anyway, said that they'll do the same thing they're doing in Romania to Germany if the vote goes the wrong way. Now, I would love to see that, by the way. That would blow my mind. I don't even know how that would work, because without Germany there is no EU at all. So if the AfD get up, and Le Pen gets up, watch out. Watch out, because the old fault lines don't go anywhere. The US understand this. They don't care about Europe. They really don't. They're happy for them to kill each other. And so that's why Musk is out there agitating. He's doing that because Trump wants him to do that. And he's got the power to do that without getting done for the Logan Act. He's just a citizen, right? So by the looks of it, they'll fracture it off, and Germany will rise up again and connect with Russia, and they'll have the sphere of influence in Europe, and Russia will have the sphere of influence over the Middle East. Israel will do their thing. Who knows how far they can get in terms of how much power they can get, and then we're on to a China versus US struggle. I think that the problem that the US is going to face is that they're falling apart at the seams. Their economy is tatters. Their people are gone. Their education system's rubbish. The amount of people that they can actually field into the army is low because of things like overweight children who've never ran a mile. They're behind technologically. I don't know if they can really go at a full pace attack, struggle against China because China is about $1 trillion ahead of them in exports overall and imports. Like the amount of money that flows through, they do a bit more. So we'll see. But strap yourselves in to see the first 3 to 6 months if this is indeed what happens, and there's a new security architecture, a deal with Russia, a pullback by the US, a disintegration of the EU norms to something more German focused, and Germany becomes the regional hegemon for Europe, UK swinging the wind by itself, Russia, the US off to Greenland, and mining the Arctic Ocean, drilling and against China. I think that's what will happen.